In South Africa, the Oscar Pistorius trial has garnered worldwide attention, but it also highlighted the country's high level of domestic violence. Research is showing more than 1,000 South African women are killed by their partners every year. CCTV's Dan Williams has more now from Pretoria.
Oscar Pistorius, once a global athletics icon, but now perhaps better known for images like this. The double amputee's murder trial has captivated the world. The prosecution argues Pistorius is a murderer and that he intended to kill his girlfriend, Reeva Steenkamp.
In fact, you knew that Reeva was behind the door and you shot at her. That is the only thing that makes sense. You shot at her knowing that she's behind the door.
It's not true, my lady.
Pistorius maintains he mistook Steenkamp for an intruder. But the narrative of intimate partner homicide makes for awkward discussion and uneasy introspection for South Africa. On average, 3 women are killed by the hands of their boyfriends and husbands each day. It means that in the 41 days of the Pistorius trial, roughly 123 women have been killed by their partners. Professor Rachel Dukes of the South African Medical Research Council admits it's a grim statistic.
We have a huge problem with domestic violence. When we interview men, roughly 1 in 2 men say that they've been involved in perpetrating an act of physical violence against partners. Just over a third of women say that they've experienced physical violence from a partner. And when we ask them about how often that's happened, most women talk about it having happened on multiple occasions.
The obvious question then is why? Lisa Vetton, a lecturer on gender studies at Wits University, says the answer is complex, but feels some of the issues stem from old historical ideologies.
So we've had a legal system that has largely ignored the problem, which meant that the police themselves have largely ignored the problem. And I think we still sit with that legacy today. This perception that it's a private matter between 2 people, you shouldn't get involved, it's something the family should be sorting out. So I think there's that whole cultural silence around domestic violence that thinks that the law is an inappropriate mechanism to try and deal with it.
One of the issues is that even when domestic violence victims report their abuse, they receive inadequate support from officials. South Africa has strong laws protecting women and children, but they're just not being used. There is hope, though, and the high-profile nature of the Pistorius trial could motivate change, at least in the short term.
But I think what we see in South Africa is these recurrent patterns of outcry, amnesia, outcry, amnesia. And unfortunately, there's no shortage of social problems in South Africa. So there's constant competition and jostling for the public agenda. So I think things get knocked off quite quickly. And I think we've reached the very unfortunate situation in South Africa is because so much of what happens is so extreme and violent. It takes the truly brutal and exceptional now to even make the news.
Dan Williams, CCTV, Pretoria, South Africa.